अल्लाह मदद फरमा। नूर मौलाना शाह करीम हुसैनी हाजरी माँ मुश्किल कुशा मदद फरमा, मदद फरमा, मदद फरमा। या मौला मेहरबान, या मौला मेहरबान, या मुश्किल कुशा मेहरबान मौला। We all have gathered here, Mawla, to understand your farameens, Mawla. Be the light on the tongue of this Nachiz, Mawla. Ya Mawla Meherban. Give us that Chashme Basirat, Mawla, to see the pearls of wisdoms in your farameens, Mawla, and take it into our heart and change ourselves, transform ourselves, Mawla. Ya Mawla Meherban, Ya Mawla Meherban. Help us walk on the Sirat al-Mustaqim, Mawla. Not just walk, Mawla. Let us run on this path, Mawla, and be with you, Mawla. Ya Mawla Meherban, Madad Farma, Madad Farma. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil, wa ni'mal mawla, wa ni'mal nasir. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil, wa ni'mal mawla, wa ni'mal nasir. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil, wa ni'mal mawla, wa ni'mal nasir. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil, wa ni'mal mawla, wa ni'mal nasir. Ya Mawla Meherban, Ya Mushkil Kusha Meherban Mawla, Madad Farma, Madad Farma, Madad Farma. So today we will start with new Farman of Maulana Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah. May our soul be sacrificed to this Imam. This is Farman number 12 in the book Kalame Imam-e Mubin, April 12th, 1893, Mumbai. Haq Maulana Dhani Salamat Datar Aka Sultan Muhammad Shah Hazri Mame Farmavi. Mumil Salawat Paro Allahumma Salli ala Muhammadi wa Ali Muhammad. એક દિવસ હઝરત નબી મોહમ્મદ મુસ્તફા મસ્જિદમાં બેઠા હતા તે વખતે જિબ્રાઈલ એક આયત લઈને આવ્યા અને કહ્યું કે યા રસૂલલ્લાહ ખુદાવંદ આલમને ફરમાવ્યું છે કે આ આયતને જ્યાં નરસા માણસો રહેતા હોય ત્યાં સંભળાવો. So let me paraphrase and understand it in English as well, so you all stay with me. That one day, Prophet Muhammad was sitting in a masjid, and at that time, Jibreel comes and he says that there is a command of Allah, hukum of Allah, that this verse which I am revealing to you, giving to you as the command of Allah, you need to announce it or read or recite it in the place where there are really words of words people are there. પછી તે આયત સંભાળીને એક અસહાબને આપી. પછી તે આયત સાંભળીને એક અસહાબને આપી ફરમાવ્યું કે તું આ આયતને લઈ जा અને ફલાણા મોહલ્લામાં જ્યાં નરસા માણસો રહે છે તેઓને સંભળાવો. Then very interestingly, we'll talk about it, but Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah is keeping hijab here. Mullah says that afterwards, Prophet Muhammad, listens to the verse, and then he tells one of his companion, Ashab is his companion, Sahabi, and he tells that Ashab that go take this verse and go to that place where there are really, bad people live there. Go and recite this verse to them. તે અસહાબ આ આયત લઈને જ્યારે અડધા રસ્તે પહોંચ્યા ત્યારે નબી મુહમ્મદે એક માણસને કહ્યું કે તે અસહાબને મારી પાસે પાછો તેડી આવો. ત્યારે તે માણસ તે અસહાબને અડધે રસ્તેથી તેડી આવ્યો. Now this person, who we do not know who that is, he reached half of the destination, and then Prophet Muhammad sends another person to call him back, tell him to return back. So from the halfway, he returns back. Nabi Sahib teni pasethi te ayat લઈને મુર્તઝા અલીને આપી કહ્યું કે તમે આ આયત લઈને જ્યાં નરસામાં નરસા માણસો રહેતા હોય તેને સંભળાવો. Now, what Prophet Muhammad does, when this person is back, Prophet Muhammad takes this verse and tells it to Mullah Ali that you take this verse and go to the place where there are bad people living and read these verses. આ વખતે કેટલાક અસહાબો ત્યાં બેઠા હતા. તેઓએ પેગમ્બરને પૂછ્યું કે યા રસૂલ અલ્લાહ, તમો આ પહેલા એક અસહાબને આયત આપી નરસા લોકોને સંભળાવા મોકલાવ્યું હતું, પરંતુ તેને પાછું બોલાવી તેને પાસેથી આયત લઈને મુર્તઝા અલીને આપી તેનું શું કારણ? Now, all those companions of Prophet who were watching Prophet, they are now asking the Prophet that first, you gave these verses to this person, but then you called him back and now you are giving it to Mullah Ali. What is the reason for that? જો તમને મુર્તઝા અલીને જ આયત આપવી હતી, તો તે પહેલેથી અસહાબને શા માટે આપી? If you wanted to give it to Mullah Ali, then why did you give it to that person? પહેલેથી જ મુર્તઝા અલીને આપી હતી. They say they were asking Prophet Muhammad. Can you imagine that how people challenge the light? He was the light at that time, Nur Mujassam. And they're asking him that why did you not give it to Mullah Ali in the beginning? Why did you give it to the other ashab? પેગમ્બરે ફરમાવ્યું કે તેનું કારણ એ છે કે જ્યારે તે આયત અસહાબને આપીને મોકલાવ્યું ત્યારે મને ખુદાવંદ તાલા એવો હુકુમ થયો, ખુદાવંદ તાલાનો એવો હુકુમ થયો કે આ આયત તેને આપજો કે જેમાં ત્રણ ખાસિયત હોય. ત્રણ ખાસિયત કઈ કઈ? Now, these people who are using their partial intellect to ask the light this question, that why did you change your mind? And then claiming that if you had to give it to Mullah Ali, then why did you send another person who reached halfway and you called him back? Why did you do that? Of course, when you ask the question, the answer has to be given. But I just want us to realize that, how people use their partial intellect and challenge, the light. People don't understand that they are with Nur. And this is his companions. And then Prophet Muhammad now gives the response because they asked the question. So Prophet Muhammad is saying that when I sent that companion, there was another hukum, another command of Allah which came to me saying that send that person who has three characteristics. Now, what are those three characteristics? Prophet Muhammad is telling us. Actually, Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah is telling us. So we need to remember that because this story is now being told to us by Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah. પહેલી ખાસિયત એ છે કે જેને ખુદા ઓળખતો હોય અને તે ખુદાને ઓળખતો હોય. The first characteristic which was needed in the person who will take this verse and read it to those bad people is that this person had to be in recognition of the Lord. જે ખુદાને ઓળખતો હોય અને તે ખુદાને, જેને ખુદા ઓળખતો હોય અને તે ખુદાને ઓળખતો હોય. So this person has to be the one who is in recognition of the Lord, and Lord also sees him. Recognition is a both the ways. Very interesting. પેગમ્બરે ફરમાવ્યું મને ખુદાનો એવો હુકુમ થયો કે તે અસાબને હું ઓળખું છું પણ તે મને ઓળખતો નથી. The friend, the companion who was sent the first time, I know him. He doesn't know me. Question, big question. How can he be friends of Prophet when he doesn't know? You need to really reflect on that. બીજી ખાસિયત એ કે તે અમારી આલમાંથી હોય અને હું તેનામાંથી હું. Now this is very crystal clear, very, very, beautiful that this person has to be from the progeny. He should be from my progeny and I should be from him, meaning there is a relation and progeny. So surely Maula Ali is from the progeny. So that's very clear. તે ashab amari almathi nathi. So this companion was not from my progeny. Tem te amara mathi nathi. Then not only that he is not from progeny, but he is not one of us. Big question mark. If he is not with one of us, why and how was he companion of Prophet? But tenama tem ame પણ તેનામાંથી નથી. And then Prophet says that I am not from him as well. So very, very interesting characteristic about this person who is not being revealed to us. So Mawla is again, that third characteristic is that he is not from my al, this person, the second characteristic, he is not from my al, from progeny, and he is not from me, and I am not from him. So there is no relationship as per se. ત્રીજી ખાસિયત એ છે કે ખુદા તેના ઉપર રાજી હોય અને તે ખુદાથી રાજી હોય. Third characteristic is that the Lord is pleased with him. ખુદા તેના ઉપર રાજી હોય અને તે ખુદાથી રાજી હોય. The Lord is pleased with him and he is also in joy, in happiness with the Lord. Very interesting. આવું મને હુકુમ થયું, તે માટે તે અસહાબને પાછો બોલાવીને તેની પાસેથી આયત લઈ અમોએ મૌલા મુર્તઝા અલીને આપી. Due to this command, this ashab was called back and it was given to Murtaza Ali. મૌલા મુર્તઝા અલીને આયત આપવાનું કારણ એ છે કે મુર્તઝા અલી ખુદાને ઓળખે છે. Then again, Imam is telling us that the reason Murtaza Ali was given this verse is because he was in recognition. Tem Khuda પણ Murtaza Ali ને ઓળખે છે. Khuda also knows him. Who is he? Murtaza Ali amari al nache. Of course, Maula Ali is from the progeny. તેમજ Murtaza Ali અમારામાંથી છે and he is from us. અને અમે Murtaza Ali માંથી છીએ. Prophet says, I am also from Murtaza Ali. ખુદા પણ Murtaza Ali ઉપર રાજી છે અને Murtaza Ali પણ ખુદા ઉપર રાજી છે. Lord is happy with him and Maula Ali is very happy with his Lord. તે માટે અમોએ તે આયત Murtaza Ali ને આપી. That is why that verse was given to Murtaza Ali. So this is the story part. We all have understood the story and we will discuss it. But let's just see what Imam is telling us. Because this is a beautiful way of Imam. First, Imam is telling us the story and then he's giving us the extract or the conclusion, what we really need to understand. બાદ મૌલાના હાજરી ઇમામે ફરમાવ્યું, ઇન્શાઅલ્લાહ તમે મુર્તઝા અલીને ઓળખો છો અને મુર્તઝા અલી તમને ઓળખે છે. Inshallah, God willing. God willing. તમે મુર્તઝા અલીની સાથે તમે હૌઝે કૌસર ઉપર હશો અને મુર્તઝા અલી હૌઝે કૌસર નું પાણી તમને પીરાવશે. So on the day of judgment, Maula Ali will be at the pond of abundance and we will be there as well. If God willing, we are in recognition of Imam, then we will also be given the water of this pond of abundance by Maula Ali. So this is the 12th Farman. Now question is, whose story is this? What is Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah is teaching us? If we look at this Farman and read it just as is, we are understanding that it is actually about recognition of Imam. This friend of Prophet was not in recognition of Imam. He did not know the light. He knew he was a friend, he was a companion, but he did not recognize. He did not recognize the light. Not only that, another important characteristic was that the Lord was not pleased with him. Now, these are harsh characteristics which are being told to us by Imam about this person. And the conclusion Imam has drawn for us as Ismaili Jamaat that we need to recognize Imam. Without the recognition of Imam, there is no salvation. Please know that. And I think this group's, the way we've been listening to knowledge sessions, so you all know this important lesson that we do need to recognize the Imam. And recognition can be attained through knowledge. Without knowledge, there is no recognition. And with knowledge, if there is no Ism-e-Azam, there is no recognition. Take the example of a canoe. Which canoe moves forward when there are both the oars? If we are doing just one oar, Ism-e-Azam, the boat will be going round and round and round and round. The work is done. Hard work is done. Oh, I'm moving. But in reality, it's at one place where we are going round and round. Until we have both the oars, Ism-e-Azam and knowledge, then we are moving forward. So that lesson is very important. And I presume that we have been talking about this in different sessions. So we do know the importance of it. And those who are not in the knowledge session, they will come forward and ask and seek advanced understanding, which is in the recognition of Imam. We need to have the recognition of Imam. Without that, there is no progress. Having said that, we need to understand this Farman as well. So that is the most important lesson. And then those who will recognize the Imam. Remember another criteria which Imam is teaching us, which is inshallah. If we work hard, if we strive hard, God willing, it will happen with his rahmat. Remember, as Imam teaches us in Baitul Khayal that we do sit in ibadat with humility. We never be greedy. We want it, we desire the light. Mawla knows our desire. That's why we are sitting in the ibadat. That's why we are seeking knowledge. That's why we are trying to recognize him through knowledge, because the first step is ilmul yaqeen, along with ibadat. Then only the eyes, the chashme basira, the inner eyes will open up. Otherwise, it's not opening. So we understand that we strive hard. It is his will. We never become proud that, oh, I'm learning the knowledge or I am sitting in ibadat. No, we always remain humble. It is his mercy, always his mercy. That is why we have to remember God willing. It is his mercy, and we always seek his mercy. We are poor. We are not capable. Our job is to strive hard. It is his day. It is his rahmah which comes upon us. That is the second lesson which Imam is teaching us through inshallah. And then if we do that, then in the day of Qiyamah, we will be with Imam, and we will be, alhamdulillah, Imam will be giving us that water of pond of abundance. When Imam gives us that water, that niyaz, that holy water, what will be happening to us? Al-Hayy, the miracle of Al-Hayy. We will be with him ever living. And that's what we seek, ever living life. We want to be fana fil Imam. So this is the lesson in this, final paragraph. And I'm not repeating it because I pleasantly, positively presume that you have heard me enough and you understand this and you are taking actions that you will be working on that. And I am talking to all adults. So alhamdulillah, we understand this part. But I do want to focus on this story. You know why? Because it is the history Imam is teaching us. And I have learned in my limited experience that we lack knowledge of history. So I do want to take you to the history part, because this is an event which happened in history. And this is about actually Surah Tawbah, chapter 9. Quran, if you study the Quran, there are 114 chapters. How many? 114 chapters, and there are 6,666 verses. In 114 chapter, every chapter begins with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Through Bismillah, we seek Imam's mercy, Imam's protection. We say, you are Rahman Rahim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. We seek his protection. But in one chapter, which is Surah Tawbah, which is also known as Barat, it is a chapter 9. This chapter does not start with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is the only chapter in Quran there is no Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Quran being the perfect book, this chapter does not have. And it is this chapter Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah is talking about. So if you were to go and read about history, and again, history, it's so interesting that there is so many changes being done wherever Maula Ali is there. Over the period of time, Hasidin, those who were jealous of Imam, they have made so many changes. And for Ismailis, the books of Ismailis were taken, republished by putting bad things in the book. It has happened to Ismaili Jamaat. So our history is really, really, difficult. We have to really have an eye to be able to read authentic sources to find out what is the history of Ismailis. Now, but the good part that this is the time of the Prophet Muhammad. Oh, they have made changes in that as well. But there are people who have written, collected authentic ahadith, sayings of Prophet. Remember, this is what Prophet Muhammad was saying at that time. What did he say? Who recorded it and how did they record it? So if you were to go deep into the history, very interesting findings you'll find. This person who was sent to recite, there were 8-9 verses of Surah Tawbah was revealed, and Prophet Muhammad was at that time was in Medina, sitting in the mosque in Medina. So those who remember the history, but let me briefly tell you that Prophet Muhammad was born in Makkah. Makkah has Khana-e-Kaaba, but because of the rivalry and problems, Prophet Maula Ali and all his companions migrate to Medina. Medina is the place where they were all Ansaran and they were Muhajirin, right? They were immigrants and they became brothers and, they lived together. In Medina, these verses are revealed. And interestingly, the way Maula says, meaning there are worse of worse, bad people, go recite this, verse is there. Which place was there, which Prophet Muhammad tells this person to go? It was Khana-e-Kaaba. It was Khana-e-Kaaba. Read in history, it's written. I'm not making it up. So read in the history if you don't believe me. It was a Hajj done. So very many people from all around were going to Makkah for Hajj. And the person who Prophet Muhammad gives these verses, do you know who that person was? Abu Bakr, father-in-law of Prophet Muhammad. And Abu Bakr is given these verses, he takes it, and some tradition does also mention Umar, that Umar and Abu Bakr were together. Some tradition says only Abu Bakr. So remember, there are so many thousands of now, collections of sayings of Prophet Muhammad. Some said this, some said that. So there are variety of traditions. But most of the tradition agree that it was Abu Bakr. Some say it was Umar as well. And remember, Abu Bakr was the first Khalifa. Second was Umar. So you can understand, if you know history a little bit, you can relate. So it is Abu Bakr and Umar who had taken these verses, and they reach halfway. And here Prophet Muhammad says to Maula Ali, go catch up to them, send them back, and I want you to go and recite these verses to the people in Khana-e-Kaaba who are doing the Hajj. So Maula Ali, the history says even that Maula Ali picks up his she-camel, Azbah, who was a very fast-running camel. So he rides on that camel, she-camel, and catches up to these two people, and he tells them that, give me the verses, because at that time they would write it on the leather or the leaf or whatever, right? So he said, give me the verses. Prophet Muhammad has sent me to go and recite these verses, and you are to return back. And he says, why? What had happened? He says, Maula Ali says, I know only, what Prophet Muhammad has told me. I know only, I mean well, I'm only doing what I'm being told, but you need to return back to Prophet Muhammad. So they go back to Prophet Muhammad. And of course, they're inquiring Prophet Muhammad that, are you upset with us? Did we do something wrong? And very wisdomfully, Prophet Muhammad says, it is the hukum of Allah. Now remember, all this teachings at the time of Prophet was to do what? To tell people evidently who is the true Janasheen of Prophet Muhammad. Who is the true Janasheen? And now, 1400s later, it is so amazing to realize that later on Abu Bakr plots and becomes the Khalifa. And after Abu Bakr, it is Umar who becomes the Khalifa. And here it is, Prophet Muhammad telling them to come back and Maula Ali to go. Was it not visible to people what Prophet Muhammad was doing? In Quran, Allah says that those who are blind, they will remain blind. Because the blindness is not of eyes, it is of the heart. But of course, at the death of the Prophet Muhammad, Abu Bakr becomes Khalifa and Maula Ali is kind of left alone, where his Janashini was announced at Ghadir Khum. This is our history. So Maula Ali takes these verses and announces, people were doing Hajj. He climbs up at a place and he reads these verses of Surah Tawbah with his Zulfikar in his hand. And actually, if, I didn't open the verses, but let me read two verses because it's important and it helps us to see the story complete historically. So let me read two verses. It says, and you can open up your Quran, chapter 9, I'm reading, Surah Tawbah. It doesn't have Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. It says, let me open up another translation. Freedom from obligation from Allah and His Messenger towards those of the idolaters with whom you made a treaty. Those who were worshipping the idols. They were doing the Hajj in Khana-e-Kaaba. Those who were, worshipping the idols, you are freed from obligation. Meaning that at that time, those who were not believing in Prophet and Allah, they were still worshipping the idols. They were really worse people. And it was all in Khana-e-Kaaba during the time of Hajj. Travel freely in the land for 4 months and know that you cannot escape Allah and that Allah will confound the disbelievers. Then Allah will punish. But the most important word here, freedom from obligation, this is the word barat. And this chapter is also known as barat. Normally, generally, you will see chapter 9, Surah Tawbah, the chapter of forgiveness, seeking Tawbah. But the name also is barat, freedom from obligation for those who do not believe in Prophet, who do not believe in Imam, and they were given this freedom. So just to give you the background that this is the Surah Tawbah. Now, Bismillah means protection, being in Panah of Imam, being in Rahmat of Imam. Barat means freedom from obligation. Go do whatever you want to. There is no protection from you. There is no Bismillah in this verse. And then I do want to mention that I refer to Jalaluddin Sutiti. He is a very renowned scholar. And he is the one who has collected very many traditions, and especially the traditions regarding this story which Maulana Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah is telling us, that how Abu Bakr was brought back. He was told to come back. And one of the books has been translated in English of him, which is History of Caliphs, who took the right way. History of Caliphs, who took the right way. This book is available in English, may have some translation error, but it's a better book to read than any other book. And he talks about Rashidun Khalifat, Umayyad Khalifat, Abbasid Khalifat, and Fatimid Khalifat. So we can read, this source. Another source is Mustadrak. These are the reason I'm mentioning. Those who really get interested, you do need to know the right sources. Both of these sources do talk about Abu Bakr. Now, if those who are curious, if you go search online, you will find that they have written in the books, published books, that at that time, remember which sources? Sunni sources will say that Abu Bakr was not there. Abu Bakr was already in Makkah. So they are denying the fact which happened in the history to protect Abu Bakr's image being the first Khalifa as the rightful Khalifa. But Jalaluddin Suyuti, he who is Sunni, not Shia, he has collected authentic ahadith of Prophet and he says it was Abu Bakr. And that's why I'm referring to Jalaluddin Suyuti, because we need to read Sunni sources as well, but authentic Sunni sources. The conclusion is, we as Ismailis, the first lesson Imam is teaching us in Farman to Ismaili Jamaat, we need to recognize the Imam. Without the recognition of Imam, we can lose the path. Being Ismaili. And why am I saying it's such a hard thing? Abu Bakr was related to Prophet. He was with the Prophet. People respected him. He was everywhere in every battle with Prophet. People saw him as, someone walking shoulder by shoulder with Prophet Muhammad. His life he dedicated to Prophet Muhammad. But he was blind. He did not recognize the light. In his heart, there was corruption, and which came out completely when the Prophet passed away. The rightful Gadi, the rightful Janashini was of Maula Ali. He did not give. History teaches us all this very important lesson, and history repeats itself. Today, if we are able to go back and see these facts, this helps us understand that how, in Surah Tawbah, chapter 9, verse 32, the verse says that they want to extinguish the light with their mouth. How do we extinguish Allah's light with their mouth? They cannot. What do? They change the writings. They give wrong talimat. They corrupt the hearts of people with what information they give in the name of knowledge. It is very difficult test which was taken from the people at that time. When Prophet Muhammad passed away, very few, not even 40 people were with Maula Ali. But that is in history. What do we need to do today? Why this Farman we are studying? There are very many lessons in this Farman. Most important, that we have to become student. We have to really read and understand and seek knowledge to recognize the Imam through primary sources. We need to read books. The reason we got worldly education was to recognize the Imam, to be able to read these books. Interestingly, in this Farman, Imam doesn't go into detail that it is Surah Tawbah which was revealed, it was Abu Bakr. But tell me, now, today, we are sitting in 2023 and we can tell which story Imam was telling us. It was about Surah Tawbah. It was about Abu Bakr and Maula Ali. Jamaat at that time was not that educated that Imam would teach them that I'm teaching you Quran, I'm teaching you history. Are we capable of learning Quran and history today? Are we able to read primary sources? I think so, because we are educated, well established in the worldly life. Can we not invest our time to learn these things from primary sources? Can we understand the Tawil of the Quran? This is what Imam is teaching in his Farman. So I hope that we are realizing the importance of history, importance of recognizing the Imam, remembering those who are walking on the path, those who think, oh, I am learning, I'm studying, I'm attending classes, I'm working hard, I'm doing ibadah. It is not I, it is inshallah. It is His will, it will happen. Meaning, please do not do I. Be humble, be humble. It is His mercy. With humility, seek the light. Another important lesson, when there is a farman, we do not say why. We follow. Do not use partial intellect. But in order to understand the farman, we got to read the farman. Because today we, have these 5 books which are published from Tariqa board, not other than that. That is it. Have we really studied those farman in great depth? Kalam Imam Abin is available. Tell me, honestly, how many of us knew that this is about Surah Tawbah? How many of us had picked up the book of history to see that how people are lying? If you go today online and start searching, and if you do not find this being said that Abu Bakr was not there, it was not Abu Bakr. Who was he then? Jalaluddin Sutiti, who was passed away, he was in 800 somewhere. 894 somewhere he was born and passed away 900 somewhere. He was Sunni scholar, very respected, renowned Sunni scholar. Why does he then says it was Abu Bakr? Why is it important for us today to understand that it was Abu Bakr? Because we live in this, a world where we have become a global village. And our book is Quran. As a Ismaili, our book is Quran. Sunni will also claim it is Quran. Islam has to be recognized through Imam. We are Ismailis. We need to know Quran and our facts. Prophet Muhammad had sent Maula Ali. At that time, he showed through this practical example that who is from him, who is in recognition of him, it is Maula Ali. So it is those who followed Maula Ali. And today, Maula Ali is Shah Karim. And it is only Smileys. It is only Smileys who are with Maula Ali, not anybody else. There are so many sects of, after Maula Ali, of Shia. We are not those. So we have to know our facts. Our children, when they mingle with Shia kids or Sunni kids and they discuss this. In fact, I remember one of a young youth came to me who became friend with Shia, and this Shia kid, he's, both are doing Yali Madad, they became friends and they're like, so how come, who are you? And the Shia kid, this Ismaili kid asked the Shia kid, so who do you believe in? You say Yali Madad. So he says, I believe in Imam. Where is your Imam? He's absent, guide. She says, this girl says, my Imam is here. I know my Imam. It is Nur Maulana Shah Karim Hussain Hazim Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So this kid who has never studied, who does not know who he is, just Shia, following the faith, blind faith, asked the parents, what does this mean? Who am I? And now suddenly is interested because this Ismaili kid was very sharp and knew who she was. Her friend did not know nothing. So she's asking her parents that, oh, I don't know who am I, who do I follow, why am I doing this? This is Ismaili kids, those who are in recognition, those who have read books, they know who they are. Nobody can change their mind and their heart. They are staunch Mu'minins. Why? Because they have the knowledge. They have the knowledge. We as, elders in Jamaat, do we have this knowledge? Are we transferring this knowledge to our children? Are we showing them these resources so they can become educated? And remember, I refer to Sunni sources. I did not refer to Shia sources. We need to know this. Why Hazrat Imam is Imam? How do you know the truth? Here it is. These books, read, find out. This is the evidence in the history books given. Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah, in what year is that? 1893. Right? Now we read this from 1893. Teaching this to Jamaat. Do we ask this question that why Imam had to give this kind of farami? Was Jamaat not believer of Maula Ali? Are we lacking somewhere? All these are very important questions. Now, when we are reading this Farman, can we apply it on today to us? Are we in recognition of Imam? Are our children in recognition of Imam? Do they, if someone challenges them, are they able to give answers? All these are very important questions Imam is teaching us. And I can give you very many faramins of Hazrat Imam where Hazrat Imam says that you need to study history. You need to read the books of our Buzurgwar-e-Deen, primary sources. So superficially, it is a beautiful story and we all feel happy and joyous and feel good kind of story that it is Imam and we are with Imam. But we are grown-up adults. Stories are for children. Yes, there is a lessons which has to be extracted from the story. How many of us truly did the research to understand this Farman from the history? Now, this Farman, we should be telling it to our kids and our grandkids and with resources. That if you go online, you will find that Abu Bakr was sent away. He was not there, protecting the image of the first Caliph. But in reality, it was him. So the whole Sunni, the whole beginning of the Sunni, sect is put on deception and corruption, which actually was there from the time of the Prophet Muhammad. But at that time, people can't see it, right? Because the Prophet was there. It was after Prophet that it came out. But people did not understand it. And Sunni sect became. People did not understand it. Sunni sect became. And today, Sunnis are in majority. Ismailis are few. So it is us who are the cream of cream. Truly. The Deen-e-Haq which started from the day one from Hazrat Adam alayhi salam. You know who are the followers of that deen? Only Ismailis who are with Shah Karim. We need to recognize Imam first with knowledge. Can you feel this happiness that from history we are able to prove from the Sunni sources that our Imam is the rightful Imam, Imam-e-Barhaq? There's no doubt we can say, oh, my Imam is the rightful Imam. That confidence, that knowledge is needed. It has to be there for us to be able to say that. Nobody can deceive us. How will it come? Through knowledge. By reading the Quran, history, books of Hadith. Imam wants us to read that. It is high time that we need to educate ourselves. And Alhamdulillah, this is the guidance from the Faramins. It is the teaching of the Farman that we are taken to that route to study the primary sources of the books and be able to conclude and bring this, story as a live story, to be telling it to whole Jamaat, that Sunni sources do tell you about the corruption in the heart of Abu Bakr. Now, very important and hard question. Does Abu Bakr exist today? That is the question. Are we safeguarding ourselves from Abu Bakr's, those who have corruption in their heart? Why would Imam, after 1400 years, will be teaching this to Jamaat in 1893 and we reading it 2023? Why? Because there is a reason. Because this guidance, this Farman, these words are alive, living for us to guide us. We would not be reading this if we were not be needing it. We need to really read the primary sources of knowledge, recognize the Imam first at the level of knowledge. It is with Ilmul Yaqeen, the second stage is reached, which is Ainul Yaqeen. Ainul Yaqeen only comes, Ainul Yaqeen means that you recognize Imam in your batin, in your eyes, like Chashme Basirat. That only comes when we have the knowledge. This Farman, it's not that we did not read from this Farman, we knew this Farman. I'm sure we have read it very many times. But how many of us related it to today's time? How many of us went back to history to find what Imam is talking about? And then very clearly, Imam is telling that Mawla Ali is from him. Imam Sultan Ahmad Shah telling us what Prophet said. The Prophet is from him and he is from Prophet. Ali Nabi Aulad Ali. It is the same chain of the light of Imamat. So if being Ismailis, if we have questions and if we feel attracted to other sects of Islam, because we are friends with, we are learning and listening, where do we stand in our knowledge? And today, the real threat is for our children, because the challenge is not only, different sects of Islam, but, being Christians, Jews, this and that. So Christian friendship comes with strong Bible book with them. Jews will have their Torah. Our children have to come with Quran. Knowing the Quran as a smiley child, understanding the lessons, the Tawil as a smiley, where my Imam is in the Quran, and being able to speak about it so nobody can deceive you. That will come from knowledge. And when we are doing Isma Azam Ibadat, because Isma Azam is only available to Ismailis, we are truly blessed. Blessed children of Imam. We are beloved children of Imam. Imam is Imamun Nas, the Imam of the whole humanity. Quran teaches us. Imam is Imamun Nas. He is the Imam of whole humanity. But then he is calling us, my beloved children, because he is the Imam of the righteous people. And we need to be truly righteous. It is only Smiley Jamaat who gets the Isma Azam. If we are sincere in our ibadat of Isma Azam and in learning the knowledge, voila, we will be having the didar of Imam in our batin. Because after Ilmul Yaqeen comes Ainul Yaqeen. With Ainul Yaqeen, we are able to see the truth. All the haqiqat which is there, all the tests which are going on in today's time, they will not be hidden. Everything will be visible. Everything will be evident. So there is so much more in this Farman, in the sense that we really need to reflect. I can continue and repeat, because sometimes friends say that we need to repeat. So remember these three khasiyat. I would like to repeat these three khasiyat, these three characteristics that distinctively separates Mawla Ali from Abu Bakr. Jene khuda orakto hoy anete khuda ne orakto. Mawla Ali, of course, he's Mawla, he's Imam, he's from the chain of the light of Imamat. Quran, chapter 3, verse 33, talks about this chosen chain of the light of Imamat in the progeny of Imran. Chapter 3, verse 33. Allah says that I chose Adam, I chose Noah, I chose the family of Ibrahim and the family of Imran. It is the family of Imran which is going on till today, and Shah Karim is actually from the family of Imran. If you go further, he is also family of Ibrahim. It is the same chain of the light which is going on. It is not separated, not discontinued. It is the same chain of the light of Imamat. So we are truly blessed. So this was about Mawla Ali. Now, Farman is definitely praising Mawla Ali, but Farmans are for us. Question to us, are we in recognition of Imam, Hadri Imam, being the chain of the light of Imamat, who is from the family of Imran and then family of Ibrahim? Do we understand Adam, who Imam wants us to understand, who brought the Deen-e-Haq? All this chain of the light which is going on from Quran, chapter 3, verse 33, which is known as verse of chosen, Aya Istafa. Have you studied that? Do our children know that? Can they give this reference like this? Farman is for us. Definitely praise is for Maula Ali, but there's a teaching for us. Then, biji khasiyat. Amari al mathi hoye ane hu tena mathi ho. Imam, the Imam Barhaq, the rightful Imam. Why are we saying rightful Imam or Imam Barhaq? Because you'll find Imam in every masjid. The one who says namaz claims to be the Imam of that masjid. Imam of Plano, Imam of Dallas, Imam of, Mesquite. There are so many Imams. So which Imam are you talking about? Imam Barhaq, the rightful Imam who is from the chain of the light of Imamat through the verse of chosen. So when our smiley kid says, oh, I believe in my Imam, other kids say, oh, which Imam? Which masjid do you go to? No, I'm not talking about that Imam. The rightful Imam, the Imam who is from Prophet Muhammad, from his progeny. This is for us. It is not just Wakhan of our beloved Maula, praises of Maula. It is for us. Tisri khasiyat, triji khasiyat, Khuda tena upar raji, anete Khuda thi raji. Now this is very, very important that, of course, Allah, the way we know him as Noor-e Mujarrad, the abstract light, the light which we cannot touch, feel, comprehend. It is light. We cannot understand it. But that light has manifested, taken a form. In Shah Karim is here. That manifested light is Shah Karim. And there are very many manifestations. We are reading the Farman of the manifested light in Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah. Same light. There's no difference. It is the same light. So, the manifested light of Allah, who are pleasing him. He is pleasing the Lord because he is from the chain of the light of Imamat. Khuda is Razi, there is no doubt about it. He is the rightful Janashi. But then who is he Razi with? Who are those who are pleasing the Imam? Not Abu Bakr or his friends, Umar, or his family members, Umar and Usman, and all those who continued the Sunni sect. There were few in numbers, very few, Abu Bakr, Umar, and few others who plotted at Ghadir Khum when the Prophet was taken ill at the time of his, passing away. 3 days he was ill in his bed. Maula Ali was all the time with him. Few people, gentlemen, got together, plotted, planned, announced their Khilafat. At that time, people were believer of Prophet Muhammad, Farman Bardar of Prophet Muhammad. What did they see? Family member of Prophet Muhammad, elderly person, speaking beautifully, giving us knowledge and hidayat the way he used to do it in the time of Prophet Muhammad. Because in the time of Prophet Muhammad was giving knowledge, and all the companions were prepared to teach the Ummah, including Maula Ali. But how many traditions do we need to believe that Maula Ali was the Janashin, others were companions? This Farman teaches us it was only Maula Ali who was in pleasure of Allah, and Allah was happy with him. He was pleased with Allah and Allah was pleased with him. Only Imam, not others, not others. Are we able to understand that concept? That how this few people plotted against Imam, and today majority is Sunni. Look at the power of corruption. We need to prepare our children to understand these facts. It's not to judge or say you are wrong or bad. No, it has happened. It is a historical event. But we do not need to be blind today. We have to have knowledge. So if this test comes in today's time, we are in complete recognition of Imam. Complete recognition of Imam. Alhamdulillah. I think I should stop here. If friends have any comments or questions, you can come forward.
Subhanallah, Subhanallah, Shukranillah, Alhamdulillah. Thank you, Niamat Sahibah, for a wonderful session again. As you mentioned, if we don't have the history, it would have been very difficult to understand the meaning of this Farman. In terms of history, it also highlights the importance of history. And as you mentioned, that history repeats itself. And just because an individual is close to the Imam does not mean that they have the recognition of the Imam. I have a question for Surah Toba. One of the explanations I've heard of Hazrat Ali being sent to deliver the surah was because it does not start with Bismillah, Rahman Rahim. The surah has to be delivered by somebody who represents Allah. And since we accept that Ali Allah and Ali being the representative of Allah, therefore the surah could only have been delivered either by the Prophet or Hazrat Ali himself.
Yes, because it says, yeah, you're right, you're absolutely correct. So that is one characteristic which Imam is teaching us. Remember, Imam said 3. So we need to remember 3. So you are right, but we do not have the complete story of it. It is a simplified, just one characteristic that Allah is, happy with him and he's happy with Allah. And definitely it is Imam or the Prophet. Because this chapter does not start with the protection as per se, because there is no Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So, because Imam himself is the Rahman, he is the Rahim and Rahman. He is the one who is, give us protection. But remember, the reason it's not there. So one, you're right, because Imam is, that's one way of justifying it. But please look into the historical event. We need to have the complete picture. The reason Maula Ali went there, because he was speaking to those who were corrupted, worshipping the idols. So for them, there is no protection. There'll be no Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. But Imam himself is there, giving this hidayat, hukum of Allah, right? So when we say Surah Tawbah does not have Bismillah because it was Maula Ali who announced it, we are not giving the complete picture. We are saying that he is Rahmat. Yes, he is, no denying. But why was it done? Not just because he's Rahmat. He is Rahmat, there's no denying. But there's more to it. And that more is that this was clear warning, clear freedom of obligation. You are deniers, you are free. Do whatever you will. So it is about those who were living the life of idol worshippers, having deception, corruption, who did not respect the treaty which they had made with Prophet Muhammad. They had broken the treaty. They had agreed, the Makkah people had agreed that Khanai-Kaaba is now cleaned of all the idols, right? It was time of Hajj. People wanted to go and do Hajj. And what did they do? They put this buth, again, all the idols. So Muslims, when they were going to Khanai-Kaaba for the Hajj, they were finding these idols there. So they had broke the treaty. So I hope, Kareem, the whole picture is right in front of us.
Yeah, thank you very much for clarifying, Niamat.
Niamat Sahibah, may I speak?
Yes, please.
Shukra, alhamdulillah, wonderful session. From my readings, I understood that the distinct separation happened during the Alamut between us. Until then, we were all one as Islam. It was during the Alamut period that we ended up with the Sunni and the Shia factions. Is that correct?
You are not incorrect, but it's not complete correct either, right? You know why? Why do I say that? Read about sayings or farmans of Imam Jafar Sadiq, Imam Muhammad al-Baqir, because when I refer to Sutiti, Jalaluddin Sutiti, he actually writes about Imam Jafar Sadiq's saying and Imam Muhammad Baqir's sayings as well. So the division had happened, but it was not distinct because people lacked knowledge. The division had happened. Labels came later on. Only those who were in recognition of Imam, they knew what was happening. Remember, there's a beautiful saying of Maula Ali that ask me before you lose me, right? Those who asked Imam, those who sought knowledge, they found the truth. So the division was probably not clear to those who were following the blind faith. The labels did not come until later on. But during the time of Maula Ali, the Shia, do you know the word Shia came into existence during the time of Maula Ali, and the full term was Shiane Ali, friends of Ali. Shia means friends, companions, friends of Ali. So Shiane Ali term existed in the lifetime of Maula Ali. And that's how Shiane Ali remained Shia. So the clarity of the labels came later on, but the division had started on the day of announcement. Corruption was already in the heart during the life of Prophet Muhammad. Otherwise, why this event? Why Abu Bakr sent and brought back? So division was there. Remember, that is why the emphasis is seek knowledge. When you have knowledge, what happens? Imam gives you those eyes to be able to distinguish from right to wrong. When we don't have knowledge, imagine the test on people. Everybody is elder, everybody is talking about Prophet Muhammad's, talimat, and everybody is, they were with Prophet. So how do you distinguish? It is not easy. Only with knowledge. Those who were in recognition of Maula Ali stayed with Maula Ali, but labels became clear later on. Division was there always. Otherwise, if it were not to be there, let me challenge that question, right? Maula Ali martyred. Imam Hussain martyred. Imam Jafar Sadiq martyred. Maulana Muhammad Baqir martyred. Who was killing our Imam? Who was, doing that? Muslims. They were not from outside. So we today, when we are studying this books of like Farmans and understanding it with the history, we got to be very clear and to understand that the division happened same day as the announcement of Ghadir Qum, but labels did not come in. So if you're asking about the labels, I agree with you.
I have a few questions.
Thank you, Niamat Sahibah. Can you please repeat the names of the writers you mentioned?
Kareem, if you go online, you would be able to find Jalaluddin Sutiti, History of Caliphs Who Took the Right Way. If you put this book name, the name of the writer will come up. And if you can put that on the chat so friends can benefit. He has also written the Tafsir of Quran. These are 6 volumes, exegesis of, Quran. So he has done a very good job. And he's a Sunni scholar. So it is very important. And he, in these books, talks about Maula Ali, the verse, I do not know if you know that there is a changes in Quran as well, right? Ya ayyuha rasulu balligh ma unzila ilayka min rabbik wa illam tafal fama. That verse, which is from Quran, in the time of Prophet Muhammad, there was Maula Ali mentioned. Maula Ali mentioned in that verse. And this author writes about this Quranic verse in his tafsir, exegesis, which I don't think has been translated in English. But how clear fact do you need to know the truth? Ji.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
Shukran. Ji.
Can I speak now?
Ji.
I have a few questions here and a few specifications as well. The Suratul Tawbah does not start with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, because when we say Ali had the Noor of Allah, he cannot say that I start with Allah. I start in the name of Allah, because he himself has the Noor of Allah. So he cannot start with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. And that is why it was not started with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
So you are
Second is the Ismailis have the Isme Azam.
Ji.
when that you mentioned was only the Asian Ismailis have Ismaism. Those who are the Afghanis and those Ismailis who are from Afghanistan or from the northern part, from Badakhshan, they do not have Ismaism.
You're right.
Even the Hunzaites and the Gilgit people who are the ascendant of the Badakhshanis, they also just during the time of Hazar Imam, Hazar Imam was very merciful and kind enough to bestow upon them Ismaism during his recent visit. Until
Correct.
then, they did not have Ismaism at all. So we Ismailis of the Asian, how do you say, sect, the Khojas are the only ones very, very lucky, very fortunate to have the Ismaism. Maybe because Mawla said that if we do not get the Ismaism, we may go astray very easily. That's Mawla's mercy and his own, how do you say, thoughts, why only the Ismailis of the Asian sects have Ismaism. So is it true?
There is no need of any discussion. You are right.
This I wanted to just clarify that these are this actually only the Ismailis of the Asian continent have the Ismaism, which is the the Eastern and Southeast Asia continent have Ismaism, which has been bestowed upon us very mercifully. And another thing is the the chain of the Imran and Ibrahim. Actually, we can see that this chain goes back. Even the Musa, Hazrat Musa alayhi salam and Hazrat Isa alayhi salam have come from the same chain.
Yes, they have.
So all the prophets that we have been bestowed upon, it's the same chain of the Imran and Ibrahim that Nabi Muhammad, and which is why later followed by Nabi Muhammad, that it's the same chain that has been coming along right from the beginning of the Hazrat Adam alayhi salam. Am I right?
Yes.
No, because we did not mention that it is coming right from the beginning, from Hazrat Adam itself, and from that even Hazrat Musa and Hazrat Isa alayhi salam have come from the same chain. Right? And one more thing I wanted to ask was, how authentic would you say the Quran would be? Because the Quran was written to Nabi Sahib's wafat, and it was the time of Abu Bakr and Usman, who were very much against Hazrat Ali. And I have also read somewhere that all those surahs or the ayats which refer to Hazrat Ali were deleted from the Quran. And we have 30 siparas in the Quran. Actually, there are 40 siparas, which 10 siparas have been kept by the Imam himself. And Hazrat Ali refused to give the 10 siparas which he had, because he said that you are not being truthful. Am I right? Or
yes,
I may be right.
You're right, but let me answer your question. And that is again from the Farman of Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah. May our souls be sacrificed to this Imam. Imam says that even those 30 siparas are enough for us to recognize, to see Imam in that. So according to the Farman of Imam, we study Quran to recognize the Imam. Even in 30 sections, 30 chapters, 30 sections, we can recognize the Imam. No matter how many changes they have made, it doesn't matter.
Okay, so can you, I mean, is it true that there have been many changes in the Quran that was written from the authentic revelations that had come to Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam?
I'm going to repeat in Nilofer. I refer to Jalaluddin Sutiti mentioning that about the third part, we say, Ya Rasulullah, the verse has been changed. And if you were to read Jalaluddin Sutiti, you will find that, yes.
So again, the question, and how authentic would you find that Quran would be?
I believe in Imam. My Mullah has said that the 30 sections are enough for us to find Imam, and we have no problem. And there are very many Faramins of Shah Karim as well, instructing us, guiding us that we need to study Quran. He has said that each word of Quran should present to you as a concept. So I study Quran according to the Farman of Imam.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Shukran. Thank you.
I have a direct question in the chat from Imran. And he says, Ya Ali Madad, I have a question for later, please. Why would Allah give people freedom from obligation? Or is this related to free will of people and there is no compulsion in religion? Message was sent right at the beginning when you were first explaining the revelation of the ayats. Yeah.
Okay. So first, it relates to breaking of the treaty and freedom from obligation. And second, in today's time, if you ask like today, why would we be reading that? There were those people who broke the treaty, so it is to do with them. But then if we look into it today, simply, Imran, if we say that if we have taken this responsibility from Imam voluntarily to do ibadat, do we break that promise? Do we break that contract? Do we break that treaty that we will not sleep? We will do ibadat. Do we keep that? That's a breaking of treaty, right? Our obligation, which we chose upon ourselves. We took it upon ourselves. So it applies in that way as well. And then if you continue to apply, every moment we make choices, and it is our own choice with free will. What do we choose to do? So yes, it exactly applies with free will in today's time as well. So I hope that helps.
Thank you, Niamat Sahibah.
Niamat Sahibah, may I please say something?
Ji.
Yes, I'm going back all the way back when Hazrat Ali was born. And from the Ginans, it says he did not open his eyes for a few days. And then Nabi Muhammad comes and whispers in his ear. I guess it's the Isme Azam connection. My thought is about the Imam at the time of Nabi Muhammad. Was he, this is about the Nuran ala Nur. What role did he play, Hazrat Ali's father? We are going Nuran ala Nur. Could you please explain to me? I don't really know how to ask for it.
Maulana Ali's father, Maulana Abu Talib.
Yes.
Okay. So Maulana Abu Talib was right at the end of the previous cycle of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam.
Yes.
Right? So Hazrat
Yes.
Isa alayhi salam's, cycle, if you look at it, the last Imam of that cycle would be Maulana Abu Talib. And the first Imam is Maula Ali of the cycle of Prophet Muhammad.
Okay.
So the role of Maulana Abu Talib is actually known as Imam-e-Muqim. Again, these are terms given by our Buzurgwarideen in the books. When we read primary sources, we learn about Imam-e-Muqim. Maulana Abu Talib gave the Isme Azam to Prophet Muhammad so he can get to that level of becoming a Natik, because the journey begins the same as any other. He received the Isme Azam from the Imam of that time, which was Maulana Abu Talib. But the role of Maulana Abu Talib was to actually give the Isme Azam, which is a big task, to prepare the Natik of that time. He is known as Imam-e-Muqim. There are very many changes which comes in the world to prepare for the arrival of the Natik. With Maulana Abu Talib, I recall Bibi Khatija. Bibi Khatija's role, who was
She was a Hujjat.
Yeah, she was a Hujjat. So he herself was also preparing people at that time, teaching people for the arrival of the Prophet. But when she was married to him, and when he reveals that this, hukum has come, Jibril has come to him, At that time, she immediately runs to Maulana Abu Talib, giving him the good news, glad tidings that this has happened. She was the seal of the Prophet. She was the last hujjat of the cycle of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam. So the role of Maulana Abu Talib was as Imam Mukim. When the cycle changes, the last Imam gives the Isma Adam or Isma Azam to the upcoming Natik. Isma Azam to the upcoming Natik. So the new cycle starts. So when we talked about verse of chosen, we hear about Adam, Noah, and then we say Ibrahim. From the progeny of Ibrahim is Musa and Isa and Prophet Muhammad. But Prophet Muhammad, because it starts the new cycle, Imran, Maulana Abu Talib, the name of Maulana Abu Talib is Imran. So the family of Imran. This is all one family. And that's how the cycle began. And Alhamdulillah, we are in the cycle of Qiyamah now, because Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah announced.
Dore Kiamat. Yeah.
Dore Qiyamah. You understand that? Gee.
So then Nabi Muhammad is the Natik for the new cycle, and Hazrat Abu Talib, Nabi Muhammad puts a veil.
Maulana Abu Talib was
For Abu
hidden.
Talib, yes.
Was
so
hidden.
that-
He was in
yes.
batin.
Yes, so it's the veil.
Zahurat,
Yes.
yes, Zahurat happened
All right.
from Maulana.
Okay. I understand now. Thank you. This has been bugging me for so long. Thank you so much.
Shukran.
Friends, anybody got any questions or comments? Thank you, Niamat Sahibah. It looks like there are no further questions. Thank you once again for a lovely session. By the number of questions, it just shows how interesting everybody else found the session as well. Thank you, and Yali Madat, friends.
Yali Madad, Yali Madad. Thank you, friends. Yali Madad, Yali Madad.
Yeah, Mother.
Yali Madad.
Yeah, Limadad Appa, thank you so much.
Yali Madad Husnara.
Ya Ali Madad Niamat Sahibah. God bless you.
Shukar Ali Allah. Thank you, ma'am.
Yali Madad. Thank you. Yali Madad.